In India, actually there is a lot of labor migration. If you look at South and West, possibly Delhi NCR,
More. Delhi NCR.
the rest of the country is sending labor at all levels to this part of the world. Okay? To South, West and Delhi NCR, maybe Chandigarh to some extent. Now, if I look at it, to the best of my knowledge, no, and I think there's a policy intervention required here. There is no policy intervention of recognition of migration in the country by any government. Now, to me, migration is actually a very big job creator, right?
Yeah.
It's a very big job creator in the world. After all, Indians have migrated across the world, and we are sending about $80 billion worth of capital flow back into the country, which is happening to Bihar, which is happening to UP, whether it's a driver or from Northeast, people are coming here and working in restaurants, etc. So to my mind, and I combine to what Gunjan said in terms of, hey, let's go to Chikbalapur. I think the migration is very city-oriented, extremely city-centric, and let's say top 9 or 10 city-centric. But if study is done and you encourage migration to smaller towns, you will find it's a different world out there.
Yeah.
And when somebody comes from Siliguri to Bangalore, the requirement of job to generate income is 50,000 rupees and 40,000 rupees. But when you go to a smaller town like Mysore, it will be 25,000 rupees, right? It's very important to frame migration and direct it to certain levels. If we don't do that, we actually as a country will be fundamentally populating our big cities, which need to be decongested.
Development of tier 2, tier 3 cities is
Big
very,
issue.
very important. And actually every government of all the states need to be working on this. And government of Karnataka, I can speak for government of Karnataka because I'm working here. We have come out with the 9 clusters, and in fact we are adding more. And where it has to be specific to that district. Say for example, some district is good in, traditionally it has been good in particular, say Ballari. Ballari has been good in, the jeans and the textiles have already been. So there we are building another layer of, broad basing the textile industry, garment industry there. Similarly, Mysuru, I talked about PCB, ICB is already there. Can we not go there, ESDM in a more wider range and train people around that side? Similarly, Chikbalapur. So this kind of incentives and these kind of policies is government has to take more. So that, tier 3 cities, tier 4 cities, and the, semi-urban areas need to be developed and going to the rural areas.
Urbanization in India is 34% now, maybe 40%. Census 2011 said 31%. The world is 52%. China is 59%. What does urbanization do? Urbanization concentrates human activity. Concentration of human activity expands skills and opportunities. And those skills and opportunities increase specialization. Specialization increases productivity. Productivity increases wages. So India must invest in the 5,000 small towns of 50,000 to 1 lakh population apart from the cities, connect them to the cities with good transportation so people can stay there, come from the neighboring villages, and we push labor intensive industries there where you can pay 15,000-20,000 rupees and make a good living. And that can be done all over the country.
Absolutely.
If you do that, labor intensive industries, that will improve productivity, reduce our overall cost. We got 300,000 people from the northeast in Bangalore. From the northeast, 300,000 people. They're coming here. Why? 14,000 is very good. They can stay very well. Now we have to have that urbanization. That is the missing piece. But in the big cities and the villages, 600,000 villages, 50,000, nobody is there. Nobody wants to stay in village. The idea that India lives in village is a flawed idea because villages don't have infrastructure. It is a terrible problems there. Not many good villages. There's no health. You need the small intermediary towns where India has not invested. So we need a program of urbanization, and that I think will create huge employment.
With technology, the cost of supply chain across India has been coming down, and I think it will continue to actually get better as more and more technology actually gets deployed in this sector. So with far better supply chains emerging, with far better location independent market access, and with taxation policies that encourage such behavior, that initial nudge may actually go a very long way in encouraging these people to sort of migrate away from these urban centers into a lot more of these. And we do see some of this behavior actually already shaping up.
Shaping up?
Yeah. But that initial nudge may actually be helpful.